My sister moved in with me when she was 17 because our mom was neglecting her and our brother was abusive, and now my dad is calling me a kidnapper for filing child support. Posted by u/SD Chibai. Sorry for the long post. Last year, April 2017, my sister, then 17 and living in Connecticut with our mother, dropped out of high school and came to live with me. I live in New York State, around the Albany area. My mother is disabled due to mental illness, and in her state she was neglecting my sister, while my adult brother who lived there, disabled with autism, was physically abusive toward both of them. According to the custody agreement for my mother and father's divorce, in 2006, it was Dad who was supposed to be the custodial parent, and Mom was supposed to be paying him child support and getting weekend visitation. My sister lived with Dad and his then-girlfriend, now wife, for about 3 years, and then he sent her to live with Mom. However, Mom never got the support order updated, but arranged an agreement with Dad. She got to keep the money that was meant for my sister instead of sending it to Dad for support. And he kept her on his health insurance. When my sister came to live with me last year, Mom told me she would send the benefit money to me for taking care of my sister. She didn't. Dad kept her on his health insurance, but refused to pay anything for her online high school course when asked, claiming he didn't have money to spare. So, I'm covering it because she needs a high school education, and it's only $50 a month. This year my sister turned 18, is almost done with her online high school courses, and has started looking for a job but is thinking about trade school, so proud of her. She'll be staying with me until she can afford to move out. My wife and I have agreed and are totally fine with that. In New York, child support can be collected until age 21. So, I filed a petition for child support for both Mom and Dad through New York State, and the county court sent out notices for them to appear at a court date. Dad got it yesterday and called me, asking why I was doing this to him, telling me I needed to drop the case because it would financially ruin him. And that technically what you did was kidnapping, since nobody asked him permission when my sister moved from Connecticut to New York to live with me while the court order still said she was supposed to live with him. He said he didn't want to pursue that route because it's low, but claimed it's low of me to bring him to court over child support. So my question is, do I need to worry about being arrested for kidnapping? Would it be better to drop the child support case? Relevant comments. Commenter 1. You don't need to worry about being arrested for kidnapping because you never actually kidnapped her. You took care of your sister and went above and beyond for her. Your dad, honestly, is unsurprisingly an idiot. Imagine being a police officer and getting called about a kidnapping where the girl is happy, had permission from the current guardian, is now 18, and was given a chance to get an education. The alleged kidnapper is a family member who lets her come and go freely, and the complainant is a deadbeat dad. And said father even said he'd overlook the charge for financial gain. Be proud of what you've done and who you are. Op response. Thank you for the reassurance and the kind words. Commenter 2. So, extortion. The police won't get involved in a kidnapping where the victim was a consenting 17-year-old at the time, and neither parent reported it until she was legally an adult. The threat is mostly empty. If somehow the police want to talk to you, don't answer without an attorney and politely tell them you won't speak without one, but otherwise relax. Personally, I'd ignore your father's threats, but however you choose to handle it, there's no point engaging with him. The rest will be settled in the support hearing. Op response. This is what I was thinking too, but I tend to get anxious and just needed to hear it from people who aren't emotionally involved. Thanks for the answer. Commenter 3. Adding to the previous comment, the only way the police would stay involved is if you filed charges for extortion. Which would be justified, though I'd suggest just cutting that jerk out of your lives entirely. Op response. I don't plan to press charges. I was really hoping it wouldn't get nasty, but here we are. I hate how money issues turn family against each other. I think he thinks I'm being vindictive because my sister didn't have a good childhood. While I am angry about how our parents treated her, I'm not doing this for revenge. I just want to make sure she gets what she needs. Update 1 month later. So, I had my court day today for the child support hearing. Dad actually showed up instead of doing the conference call option like Mom did. My sister, let's call her Valerie, wanted to be in the courtroom in case the judge had questions for her. He didn't. But I'm proud of her for being brave enough to go, because my heart was in my throat the whole time. The judge started by saying he wasn't sure if a support order could be issued today, given that Valerie is 18 and in Connecticut would be ineligible, but in New York would be eligible until 21. Then started asking questions. Dad talked a lot at first, mostly about having a court order giving him full custody, and Mom was supposed to pay him child support. Then he said Valerie dropped out of high school and left the state to live with me without telling him or getting permission, and he didn't know for a month. He complained that Mom never communicates, that I make no effort to have a relationship with him, and that Valerie doesn't either. We're all ganging up on him, he doesn't know why, etc. Sure enough, as some of you mentioned, the judge asked, "Why didn't you know where she was for a month if she was supposed to be in your custody?" He said she was staying with Mom at the time, but would have had a place with him if she asked. At that point, tired of his victim act, I calmly asked, "Why didn't she have a place with you 9 years ago when you dropped her off at Mom's, didn't tell her you weren't coming back, and got rid of all her stuff?" My mother on the phone confirmed, saying she asked me to take in my sister because of my brother's violent behavior in early 2017. Valerie was 17 when she moved to New York and is still finishing high school, and I've been her only support ever since. The judge then went over monetary support guidelines. Mom, being disabled and on Social Security, pays no more than $50 per month. Dad pays no more than 17% of his income, about $800 a month. The judge asked what amount I wanted. I said just some help with groceries and medical bills, so I asked for $250 from Dad and $50 from Mom. Dad tried to haggle down to $200 a month because he just bought a house last year. You should have seen the judge's face. The judge reminded him the guidelines suggested $800 a month, and I held firm at $250. Dad sighed and said he'd have to quit smoking to afford it, supposed to make me feel bad. The judge issued the support order until she turns 21, and I never got in trouble for kidnapping my little sister. Thanks to everyone here who encouraged me to see this through and not fall for Dad's intimidation.